Welcome to part 2 of our disastrous first shakedown sail on our new to us luxury catamaran. Last week we sheared 4 bolts in our starboard driveline, had 2 bilge pump failures and had leaks in both rudder posts. We were hoping for a better outcome this week, but you can't always get what you want.
But we still decided that we were going to head offshore.
There's dolphins, oh my gosh, I thought they were orcas for a second. Where'd they go? We were both up in the flybridge and had just figured out that the autopilot was working again. So we were so happy about that. We were just going nice and straight, and then poof, poof, you could hear like a breath. And I was like, oh my God, what was that? And then I saw a fin, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a dolphin, but I was like, is that orcas? Because just we're both a bit nervous at the moment. And no, they came up again and it was dolphins. So they only visited briefly and they were really, really big ones. But it was so nice. It's a nice send off from Portugal.
Or doom, dun dun dun.
We didn't know how lucky we were, but just 2 days later, in this exact spot, there was an orca attack on a sailboat.
No, it's probably a nice send-off.
Yeah, I can see a fishing buoy up ahead though, so...
Autopilot has it.
Yeah, I think it actually does. I think it's going to pass off to our starboard side. But we've got the wind behind us finally. Like yesterday it was directly on the nose, so this is perfect. So we're going to try and pull out the jib, or the genoa, should I say. Okay. Got the genoa out!
We're sailing!
Yay!
I mean, technically we're motor sailing.
Yeah, but that's alright. First night, first sail.
Rock, paper, scissors for who's on shift first?
Wait.
Wait, it's you do scissors, paper, rock, right?
Scissors, paper, rock.
Okay. Scissors, paper, rock.
Oh.
Yay, I stay up. All right. Well, get to bed, hon. I'm gonna have a beautiful night with this full moon.
Yeah, we got to see the sunset, the moon rise, and then you can wake me up before the sunrise. I'll see all of the fun things.
Yeah, I'm waking you up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I tried.
I don't know if you guys can see the lights just up ahead, but they may be past 100 meters in front. There's the whole ocean, and they passed 100 meters in front. Had to hit him with the old 5 blast to the horn.
Good morning. The wind has only just died down, so I might actually wrap up the sail, but it's been a great night. Fair bit of sailing. The wind changed direction, so changed the sail from the port side over to the starboard side, but yeah, it's clearly died down now, so gonna have to wrap that up. You can see from our San Marino flag, the wind is completely dead. But that's alright, we got a fair bit of good sailing in the night, and it should pick up again today, so that'll be great. Okay, sail is away. Now we wait for a bit more wind again. It definitely should pick up quite a bit through the rest of today, so that's exciting. So basically we're kind of cutting across from where we were, Faro, Portugal, the Algarve region, across down towards Gibraltar. So we are crossing through the Orca area. So we're keeping our eyes out and fingers crossed. They do kind of suggest, if possible, to stay within a 20-metre depth, which is obviously hugging the coastline a real lot and would take a lot longer. And then you also have the issue with fishing lines and nets, which are quite a lot of them along the shore, particularly if we're going to be travelling at night like we are. So we decided to jump across and hope for the best. But yeah, very excited that we're out here, and it's been such a nice night, a really nice morning. Obviously a bit of wind would be nice now, but we had a great night with wind, and it's kind of good in a way because it's helping me get used to the sails and the rigging and where everything's running, and feeling comfortable doing a little bit of it myself while the wind is so low like it is at the moment. So if you can see that ship behind me, it's actually not on AIS at all. So the radar is picking up and I can obviously see it visually. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's not on AIS, and it hasn't been for a long time because I've seen it out in the distance for ages. It doesn't actually seem to be moving, it's just floating there. Because I can see that it's kind of, yeah, its speed is nothing, and it's been turning kind of just on the spot. So very odd. There's been quite a lot of ships around, cargo ships and fishing vessels. We're off Seville at the moment, of Spain, so yeah, probably pretty busy area, and every other boat apart from the very small fishing boats have had AIS, so it's a bit odd. So it just reminds you how important it is to keep a good lookout and then have other options for looking at things, so like radar, and in the night time hope that they've got lights on. It's a very big ship to not have AIS. Here we have our chart plotter, and you can see the radar on the right, but it's overlaid here on the chart. You can see all the ships ahead and behind and to our port side, and then right there, that little radar dot is that vessel that doesn't have its AIS on. So you can see how much harder it is to see boats when they don't have AIS. And there's that vessel again, and you can see how it's just kind of floating there. It's facing a different direction now. And yeah, no movement at all, so it's a bit odd. Maybe it's waiting to go into Seville and just hanging around out here, and maybe it got there early, but you would think surely you'd leave your AIS on. Might zoom in on it and see what kind of boat it looks like it is. I'll show you a zoomed in if I can get a good shot.
Warship 117, I read you loud and clear, over.
We're just arriving at the Strait of Gibraltar. I looked it up. The narrowest point between Europe and Africa is just 7.7 nautical miles, and it really shows because on that side I can see Spain and heading towards Gibraltar. That side I can see Africa. It's Morocco specifically, but I can literally see it. It's pretty clear. I can see buildings and everything. It's pretty cool. There's a fair bit of turbulence in the water just to our starboard side. I'll see if I can get it on camera, but quite interesting. And then there's a shipping lane there as well, so I'm just staying on this side of it, and it's got a whole bunch of cargo ships and yeah, big ships in there. So I'm going to stay over here nice and safe and yeah, enjoy the ride between Europe and Africa. So that's Spain with Gibraltar. You can just see the white on the right there, and then Strait of Gibraltar, and there is Morocco, and the shipping lane as well. So there's a fair few ships. This one's just close to us, so you can see it really well, and you can see the current here just funneling through and making kind of waves in certain areas. Here's a different angle of Tarifa. What I thought was going to be Gibraltar, but it's not. It's It's just the last kind of town in Spain, I think, on this side before we round the bend and make it to Gibraltar. We've just put the head sail away because the wind was coming directly behind us at about 12 knots, so it was flapping a whole lot. And we're going almost 10 knots, 9-10 knots, which is crazy. We were only going like 5 knots through the night with a little bit of wind and the head sail out. But yeah, that's the current making us go that fast. The current is huge in this strait. Think of all the water when the tide is coming in, all pushing this way. And it's really interesting as well in the Strait of Gibraltar, because so much water gets evaporated in the Mediterranean, more than the amount of water that comes in from rivers. The tide is actually always like an ingoing kind of tide. There's never a low tide below zero in the Strait of Gibraltar. It's really interesting. But yeah, at the moment, the current is really pushing us along. It kind of, with high tide, it goes fast, and then it kind of dies down, and then it goes fast, and it dies down, and we're obviously going so fast.
Because we timed it correctly.
So within just a minute, it went from pretty calm, glassy kind of water to really, really washing machine-y. Not sure how well you can see it, but it's pretty crazy. This really kind of shows how crazy it could get here at the wrong time with the wrong weather. This is wind going with current, both going, well, the current very strong and the wind very light, but both going in the same direction, and it is absolutely washing machine-y rough. It's not crazy, the waves aren't high, we're not bouncing, but it's just the surface of the water is just suddenly like that changed. So I can imagine if you're going through here with the wind going against the current, or if there's big wind or big waves or anything at all like that, it would be absolute mayhem here. There's Gibraltar. So as you might have just seen, the wind's picked up to 22 knots. We're going 9.5 knots, which is a little bit because of the sail, a little bit because we've got a motor on, and a lot because of the fast current coming through the Gibraltar Strait here. And speaking of Gibraltar, there she is.
Land ho!
We would stop, but we've got places to be.
We've got a boat to shake down sail.
Yeah, we've got a big sail to do, we've got a boat to shake down, and we're going to continue on, especially while we've got this awesome wind going with us. So I, however, am going to go to sleep.
How long are you going to go to sleep for?
Only a few hours this time, I think. I have a 12-hour shift, but I've stayed up because I wanted to see Gibraltar. And this is good enough for me. I've seen it now. The sun's setting. I think it's about time to go to sleep.
And there on the other side is Africa. That's Morocco over there.
And there's so many ships like going up and down, like the huge shipping lane, and obviously everyone coming through this strait puts us all together. So it's been cool seeing all the different ships. There's so many different ones. There's ferries and big cargo ships. And yeah, it's been a great day. I've been up since 2 a.m. and not a whole lot of sleep the last few nights, if any. But I'm actually still feeling quite wide awake. I think I'm just so excited and happy.
It's the spirit of adventure.
Yeah. I'm like making myself go to sleep rather than actually being tired. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm so happy. There's Gibraltar. It's cool seeing things in the flesh after reading about them for so long and thinking about things for so long. Alright, good night guys. Good night, Bob. Well, we are through the Gibraltar Strait. We've had a really good night. The wind is up around 20 knots, so we've got the head sail out. We're speeding along. The current is still with us, and it's, yeah, we're making really good progress. It was a good night because there's a full moon, or at least almost full moon, or past full moon, I'm not actually sure, but it really makes a difference on just the night. You can see the waves, you can see kind of where you are, and it just makes it, instead of a pitch black night, it just makes it really quite different. Really, really beautiful. We've got Spain over there, which I can see the mountains as the sun's just kind of coming up behind them, so it's absolutely beautiful morning. The waves are coming with us, the wind is coming with us, so it's been a really easy, calm, kind of comfortable sail. Oh, dolphins! Oh, I was just watching the sunrise and literally dolphins came diving out of the water under the sunrise. Wow. Oh, oh my gosh. Wow, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was incredibly special, seeing dolphins dive out in front of the sunrise. It's like a dream. So beautiful. They're just such beautiful creatures. I was one of those kids that absolutely loved dolphins so much. Everything I had was dolphin related. I have dolphin figurines, and I had dolphin doona cover and dolphin painting pictures, and just everything was dolphin related. And there's that like classic dolphin picture of dolphins like jumping out of the water, diving in front of a sunset or a sunrise, and now it's like come to life in front of me. I don't think I've seen it quite so beautiful as that before. Trying to show how big the waves look, but I don't think it's showing up on the screen. But they've suddenly got really big because we've had the wind behind us for a fair while, and it's picked up to around 25 knots for a couple of hours now, so I think the waves are catching up with that. At least they're coming from behind, so it's still totally comfortable. What do you reckon, coconut? Like a piggy, like a piggy. Been good, Captain Coco. Got some breakfast in bed this morning. Keeping an eye on the sail. Comfy little spot. Hey, Coco.
Attention, calling any station with Mayday, any station with Mayday. This is Model Radio calling on channel 16. Do you ring me up?
There's a Mayday call going out, and the Coast Guard can't figure out where it's coming from, and it hasn't been called again, so everyone's kind of on the radio, but hopefully they figure that out pretty soon. There's nothing around us. I've scanned everything with binoculars and can't see anything, can't see any ships or anything like that, so hopefully everyone's going to be okay.
Relatively eventful night, which on a boat is generally not a good thing, especially out in the open ocean. A number of things went wrong, relatively minor consequences of them at the moment, but quite a few of them have the potential to be quite major. The most recent one is just the nav lights have gone off, so not sure what that is. I've changed the switch, like turned it on and off and not coming on. The batteries are fine though, the rest of the lights on board are fine, so luckily the sun is about to rise over the horizon, so we've got the rest of the day to try and sort that out. Hopefully it's just a fuse or something like simple like that. They had all been working quite well before that, so nothing to suggest. I might need to jibe. The wind's coming from right behind us, so I've been kind of jibing back and forth during the night to try and go in the direction that we want. And also trying to stay out of the kind of it's not a marked shipping lane, but there definitely seems to be a line of cargo ships one direction and the other, so trying to stay out of that. But it's quite a busy area, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll go through all the different things that have become issues over the night and then how we're going to hopefully fix them. So here's one of the other issues. Pilot off course. So basically that's saying that the autopilot that I've got locked heading of 69, we're actually going 102. So it's completely not able to keep that heading. So I'm going to take it off, disengage the autopilot, put it on standby, which just means I'm controlling now by the wheel, and turn us back to course. So yeah, I just wanted to show that, and that the autopilot is really struggling for some reason. Now, what reason that is, I'm not entirely sure. It could be the issue we had with the rudders before, and whether that rudder has now gone back out of place. It could be that the other issue, which I'm going to show you in a second, the what's it, not power steering fluid, hydraulic fluid, there's a leak again, so I'm not sure whether that could have anything to do with it. I'm going to go wake up Darcy in a sec and ask. And then, I mean, we only have the head sail out, so obviously some people say that it's not good for the balance of the boat, but we've done it plenty of times before, and not on this boat, I suppose. But this wasn't happening yesterday or earlier in the night, so it's something kind of a bit new has changed. So I can't imagine it's the fact that we've just got the head sail out. But if it is the rudder being out of balance again compared to the other rudder, that's obviously a problem, because we can't be fixing that mid-passage. It was alright to fix it if it only happens every now and again, but to happen a few days later again, if that's the cause, then that would be problematic, obviously. But I'm able to steer quite well with the steering wheel, so I'm not sure if that would suggest that it's not the hydraulic fluid leak. I don't quite know enough, so I think it's time to call a friend. Before I'll go wake Darcy, you can see the hydraulic leak, because this is oil. It was actually dark before. I think it was just stained with oil because of the previous oil leak, but this is definitely fresh oil. So we'll lift this up and take a look in a minute. Oh, and one last thing that's actually been incorrect since we started this little trip is the wind angle. So the wind speed, that seems about right. It's died down a little bit, so that seems correct. But the angle, it's definitely not coming from port like this suggests. 130 or so to port, because you can see from the flag it's definitely coming from the starboard side. And so that's incorrect. And here's that alarm again, pilot off course. So it's becoming more frequent now. So I'm gonna take control again and just keep control for a little bit and then go get Darcy. See, 108. Well, we're going 108, that's not too bad, but there's the sun getting up, very beautiful. The other thing that did happen overnight though actually was Darcy was checking in the starboard engine room, as we do quite frequently ever since there's been a problem with the bilge pump in that side, since we fixed everything at anchor. So we've been checking that room very frequently. The other engine room the hatch just opens kind of all the way up and leans back, but the starboard one has one of those, I don't know what they're called, but the kind of pole in it that keeps it open, and then you push against it to close it. And Darcy actually said when we were looking at that, when everything was kind of going wrong, oh, we should get rid of that, or at least put another one so that there's a backup, but we'll probably just get rid of it. And I was like, why? It's handy, it keeps the door up, you don't have to kind of lay it on itself. But he was like, oh, it's just, you know, something could knock that, or it could fail and come down. And of course we should have just taken it out at the time, because it did fail when Darcy was hopping into that engine room, or leaning in, I'm not sure, I was asleep, and it's come down and hit him. He's alright, thankfully, but we should have just done it at this time when we realised it. But obviously people have had it on this boat for a long time and yes, not had issues. But just a reminder, when you think of something safety conscious wise, just do it. And even if you're busy, just do it. He has hurt his arm a little bit. Hopefully it's just bruising. I've got an ice pack on it and had some ibuprofen, so hopefully that'll help a little when he's getting some sleep. But unfortunately I am going to have to go and wake him up, because there's just too many issues at the moment to ignore them or wait any longer. So I'll have to try to put this on hold heading one last time while I go wake him. But the rate that it's been increasingly failing has been quickly, you know, coming shorter and shorter. Happened like, say, half an hour ago and then nothing, and I was like, okay, just once off, that's maybe okay. But then it's become shorter and shorter, and now it's only a few minutes. So maybe it is the hydraulic leak that's causing it, or the rudder. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. We'll have to look in both engine rooms to look at the rudder angle to see if they're similar to each other. I'm not sure if there's a way to look at that somewhere else, like electronically or something. But otherwise the hydraulic leak is a definite issue, so we're going to have to look at that. Well, before I could even get up and go downstairs and wake Darcy, the alarm went off again for the autopilot, saying that it's kind of out of range, it's not being able to keep the boat straight on the heading, and it's too far off, so it's alarming. And that was only kind of a minute after it had happened last time, or a couple of minutes. So I'm actually going to stay up here and wake Darcy up the mean way, which is with the walkie-talkie. So you can either press an alarm or just call, but we keep one on us each all the time. We've got 4 of them, so we can always swap them out to charge them. Plus there's a charger up here, which is nice, like a little port for charging, a USB port. And obviously we have chargers by the bed, so that's really easy. And it also just means that if you ever need to contact the other person urgently, you can press the call button on them and it rings, or you can just start talking, press the push to talk button and ring, and start talking. And it's just, yeah, really handy. So I'm going to do that, wake Darcy up, and it's not urgent to run up here. I just don't want to leave up here given how much it's mucking up, and it seems to be okay controlled with the steering wheel, although it is kind of really overshooting and taking a while to come back. And I'm not entirely sure if that's just the boat and I'm not used to it, or if that's because of the problem and that's kind of why the autopilot's really struggling to stay on course. So as you can see by the sun kind of moving around me, I'm also struggling now to stay on course. So time to ring Darcy.
The issues with the autopilot are continuing. They got a lot better, so we think it's either rudder alignment, or we can see here there's a leak in the hydraulic system.
They got better but then got worse.
Yeah. So we're just going to add a little bit more hydraulic fluid, and that's what I'm doing right now. And then after that, it's calmed down enough that we're probably going to wrap the sail up, and we're going to re-straighten the rudders. So we only did that a couple of days ago, but if we need to realign the rudders again, then it is what it is. We'll have to find out kind of like the underlying cause for that. But
yeah, because it can't be happening this often.
Yeah.
If that's the cause.
We can only sail like 400 or 500 miles. We have just over half a liter here, or 1/2 of a quart.
The wind's changed a little when we've put the sail back over onto the starboard side, and the steering seems to be actually a little bit better, like the autopilot is staying on track again. So that would suggest to me it's more the rudder issue rather than the hydraulic oil leak. And I had kind of noticed that during the night, but I wasn't sure if it was actually the case. But now that the autopilot was mucking up so much, just every couple of minutes, it suddenly has stopped, basically since Darcy got up and we changed the sail. So now he thinks I'm lying, but it really was happening every like minute. Now it hasn't even happened like one more time since we changed the sail.
Thank you.
So maybe the sail being over on the starboard side is kind of helping the rudder situation rather than when it was on the port side might have been hindering it.
It took about 300 milliliters of hydraulic oil. For you Americans out there, that's just shy of 1 can of pop.
Seeing as the steering has sorted itself out for the time being, we're just going to leave it now. Darcy can go get some more sleep, and maybe the waves will calm down in a little bit and it will be a bit kind of safer to look at the rudders and potentially align them again if that's what the issue is. There's two potential reasons. We changed the sail over to the other side and that might be helping if that's the rudder issue. We also changed or added some hydraulic fluid, and it's after both those things that it has completely resolved. It hasn't even happened again now. The autopilot's able to keep us dead straight, and so our steering is easier, so I'm not sure which it is. Well, Coco's found her second favourite spot of the trip, laid out on the lounge on Darcy's jumper, fast asleep. She seems to be quite content. Well, maybe it's her third favourite spot. First was the suitcase, second was up here watching the ocean pass us by, and third, sprawled out on the lounge. What a cutie.
Good morning, sir. May I know your intention, please?
What is your name?
This is motor tanker Ghibli on your starboard side.
Stand by.
Thought I'd just quickly show you how close some of these boats are getting. You can see the one on our starboard side that's flashing red because it's kind of going to get within 2 nautical miles of us. And then these two here were the ones that were just on the radio to each other, and one of them decided to make a course correction to starboard. And it's a cargo ship and a tanker. Well, it's definitely the rudder system that's out of alignment again. They were last out of alignment 48 hours ago when we were at Faro. We fixed them, we lined them up straight, and Darcy's just gone and checked and they're definitely out of sync again. So we're going to deal with that now. We were hoping the waves would die down a little bit, but they haven't. So what we got to do is slow down, put the engines in neutral. We probably will start going beam onto the waves, but as quick as we can while they're in neutral, and we slow right down to a crawl. Darcy's going to try and realign the rudders.
I didn't agree to this plan. At no point did I agree to this plan. You ready? I'm ready. Let's do this!
And even though we thought we'd fixed it, we are still having that issue with the throttle control. So Darcy's turned the one downstairs into neutral, and I'm doing the port one up here.
Okay, we're good. Throttle and steer.
We've just fixed the issue, well, temporarily. The autopilot is now on hold heading and it's keeping us really nice and straight, so that's good. We don't know what the issue that's causing the whole thing is, and we don't want to have to be doing this, turning the engines off and going down and fixing it by hand every couple of days of sailing. So if anyone knows why a hydraulic system could go out of sync like this, let us know. We don't think it's the hydraulic leak that's up here. There could be some air getting in, but that would kind of stay up here. It shouldn't be enough to kind of be causing that big of an issue. Of course, we're going to look where this new hydraulic leak is, or maybe it's an old leak. Again, we don't know until not finding out until now.
Well, it's not the work that we did because I've checked that.
Yeah, we've checked that whole area and it's nice and dry. This new leak or leak that's just become apparent to us is somewhere kind of in this pedestal because it's coming out from underneath that. So lots of things to do when we stop again.
What about clean the bottom of the boat?
Yeah, I thought maybe we were going to get a chance to lie on a beach and read a book, but looks like it'll be boat jobs in paradise again.
We are running low of fuel, which means we have to fuel up using these massive jerry cans. But they're not going to be lifted out easy when they're full. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this one here, and we're going to pump some liquid into here, and then use this one to fill up, and then we can hollow out the half full ones because they'll be easier. That's the plan, at least. That's really cool. It only takes a couple of pumps to start, like a siphon effect. So now we just wait, and then when this gets like, I don't know, a little bit full, we'll pull it out before it's like too heavy though. Because right now there's like 3 or 4 jerry cans in each one of these things. That's the equivalent of 1 jerry can. So we're just going to kind of spread it amongst the rest of them, and then we'll pump it all out into the tank. Refuel on the high seas. Managed to haul out a couple of full jerry cans because the waves kind of calmed down for a little bit, and we're going to put some diesel fuel stabilizer in. We don't want diesel bug, and we don't have diesel bug, but we don't want diesel bug. So this does a bunch of stuff, and one of the things it does is help prevent diesel bug. It's not like the best thing for it. There's other better things, but this is what we have right now.
And all this fuel was on the boat?
Yeah, all this fuel was on the boat already, so it's been sitting for a little bit. Apparently it's already been stabilized, but that's okay. The fuel tanks on this boat are huge. There's 2 900-liter tanks, whatever it is in gallons I'll put right here. And then there's also 2 70-liter tanks for day tanks. So it's a really good fuel system on board. And Supernova had 450 liters of fuel, which we were really happy to have. But once these tanks are filled up, and when we stop crying after paying for it, we will be able to not fill up for a very, very, very long time. So it'll be good for the type of adventures we want to do in the future. We got enough fuel to make it to our final destination, which is going to be Palma. We were going to make a stop before then, but the weather looks like it's going to turn, and so there's not a good time. So we'll have to hit that stop on the way back out when we're going to cross the Atlantic. Oh, done. All fueled up. I love having extra jerry cans on board.
We've made a stir fry, just a quick Asian noodle stir fry. It's one of the easiest things I reckon to make underway because it's not got boiling water and everything. And the waves have started to pick up, so it is starting to get quite rolly, but still really comfortable because it's from behind us, so nothing to worry about at all. I'm going to go to bed after this because I've been up for a little while now, and maybe you can show them how you hurt your arm and how it's going, and yeah, I don't know what else.
Yeah, I will do that. But let's eat first. Did you just spill it everywhere? So this is how I hurt my elbow. When I was down there, I was doing the refueling, because to refuel our day tanks, right now we need to go down there and press a button. And so this locks up here, and this gas strut holds it. And because the autopilot wasn't doing so well, when this gets knocked, it can knock you enough and then it'll fall. And so the autopilot turned us a little bit off while I was refueling, so we were a little bit abeam to the waves. And then when I was done refueling, I went to climb out, and I put my arm on the side. And at the same time I put my arm on the side with my elbow out like this big heavy door, and I can't stress enough, this is very heavy, fell down like that. And it hit me on my head, and then it crushed my arm right here in between the door and the deck. And I was very, very dizzy for about 10 seconds. I got my arm out of there pretty quick. And then I climbed out because I figured I had a little bit of adrenaline, and if my arm was really messed up, then, you know, I need to get out of here first. And then I got out, kind of assessed my arm. It wasn't that bad. I kind of lost a bit of range of motion of it. So then I went inside. Everything was kind of done. Reset the autopilot. And then I decided, you know, hey, I better wake Yvette up. And so I did. We discussed it, and then she took over, I think about a hour early for her shift. And then she set me up with a big ice pack and everything, and elevated the arm. And it's only been like 12 hours, and it's already feeling so much better. Last night, I couldn't move it past here, and now I can get to here. So I don't think there's any permanent damage, but it just goes to show you something can happen like that out here. Now, the solution to fix that is to take this thing off. It's not to put a bigger one on here. It's just to completely take it off so the door can go all the way back over, and then it can't fall down, because there's no reason for this. So tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these screws out, just these 2 screws. I'm gonna remove the whole thing, and it'll be safer.
We've decided not to wait till night time to do it, and once I'd gone to sleep, just get it done now.
We are booking along right now, like 8-9 knots. All right, this is what I mean. You just lay it all the way back, and then it can't fall back over, even if a big wave hits, and it can go even further back. There's just a little bit of rope in the way right now. But sometimes you just gotta learn things the hard way. I really wish I hadn't. It very easily could have gone a lot worse. But I got lucky and fixing the problem now. This has been removed now, and all the way back there safely. And just in case you want the visual of what happened, it was this. With my arm here, and that really hurt.
It's like super, super heavy. The funnest thing just happened. I was in the saloon, I was brushing my teeth, about to go to bed, and then out the window I saw the craziest thing, and I was like, That's it.
We're driving cars on the
They're having so much fun. Oh, wow.
Well, the dolphins are gone. It's my favorite time of the day, sunset.
Is that because I go to bed?
No. But I'm going to be on shift until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then maybe we even get to where we're going tomorrow in the daytime. We're heading to Palma, so Palma, Spain. It's on Mallorca.
Yeah, exciting.
It'll hopefully not slow us down if we see too many more dolphins. We're moving right now. We're going like between 7 and 9 knots.
And the waves got quite a bit bigger just as they were here.
Yeah.
And like they're diving in and out and having so much fun.
Yeah.
That's why they're the best animal. They just love having fun.
There's an old saying, and it's people thought they were better than dolphins because they've built all these big cities and have all this technology, and all dolphins do is play around in the surf all day. And dolphins think they're better than people for the exact same reason.
You love that one.
Yeah.
I love it too. It's so true.
You should go to bed.
I'm tired. No. Okay. It just died literally just as I was opening that. I'm not sure if you could hear that, but I'm gonna go put it back into neutral and just turn it off. Just leave the port motor on for now. So you can see we've just got the port engine running and the starboard engine turned off now. We've got a wind speed of 7, so not very much. That's not the correct wind angle, so we definitely need to look at fixing that because the wind is currently on our starboard side. And we're going almost 5 knots. And so pilot off course, that's the whole rudder issue. That's the first time that's happened overnight. Okay, so there's no steering wheel down in here. I'm at the inside helm. So I'm gonna pop upstairs and take control. Okay, I'm upstairs now and you can see that we've got the heading at 70 that we wanted the autopilot to go, and we're actually going at a heading of 100, so that's why it alarmed. So I'll disengage the autopilot so it can stop trying and just take control and hand steer. This is what I ended up doing last night and yesterday during the day for quite a few hours. Now thinking about it, I think that the reason it's just done it was because I didn't turn the starboard engine off, but the starboard engine died, so it's caused it to be more difficult for the autopilot to control. Looking at the chart, I think this Formentera that we're right near actually blocks Ibiza completely. So I think the islands I'm seeing is actually all Formentera, and then up ahead is Mallorca, which I can't see anymore. I'm not sure if I ever could now. I'm second guessing myself. So I think all of this is Formentera is one island, because I can see it joining all the way along. And then there's the beautiful sunrise. The wind, as you can tell, is completely died down. It's only just holding the mainsail out. I might have to put it away. Yeah, look at that. So Mallorca is somewhere up ahead in those clouds and the beautiful sun rising over it. Now we wanted to stop at that island. It's supposedly really, really beautiful, but if we stop we won't have the weather to get onto Mallorca, and we want to be at Mallorca waiting to then get on to Sicily, our next stop. I brought Coco up with me to keep me company, and she likes it outside quite a lot. It's kind of less noise, I think, and nice breeze, a little bit of sunshine. You're playing with your own lead. Hey? You try and catch it? Should have brought a toy up for ya. Just came back inside and found Coco in her suitcase sleeping upside down. Okay, are you awake? Just look how incredibly calm it's gotten. That's glassy. The wind's completely died down, and if you can see behind me, it's glassy. So calm. Such a difference.
Land ho! Oh, we've seen it for a little bit, we just forgot to say it. So this is coming to the end of our sail. We've seen some rays jumping out of the water. One was doing like a bunch of backflips and everything, it was crazy. We're about 8.3 miles outside of where we're stopping in Mallorca. There's like a no anchoring on seagrass thing here. So there's like apps you can get to show you where the seagrass is and everything. And then we've got some local knowledge as well. So we're gonna pull up to our anchorage and probably go to sleep. We have a lot to do, a lot of repairs to make. We found a lot of stuff that isn't working quite right, but that's the point of a shakedown sail, right? That's the whole reason we did it. This was a very big shakedown sail, but you know what? In the end, we have chocolate mousse. Oh, I forgot to mention, we actually have chocolate mousse.
And berries.
Chocolate mousse and berries. So we're gonna eat this and we're gonna do our final little sail in and anchor, I guess. It's been a lovely passage. Yes, there has been terrible things. My arm is still quite sore, but it looks like I've avoided any major damage. The engine stuff, it's not ideal, but I mean, we want to find out what's wrong with this boat so we can fix it and move forward. So we're happy about that. We're happy we've been able to move forward. So let's just get in there and get anchored.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mallorca. Whew,
I know.
fancy. We are just about ready to drop anchor. Looks to be a little rolly, but we picked an anchorage with nobody else. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. What you're seeing is the aftermath of a 630 mile, 111 or 1,160 kilometer trip. How you doing there, champ?
Tired and hot, but very, very happy.
We're all anchored up. Anchor alarm kind of set. Didn't work, but maybe it's us.
I'll try again. Just said error.
So here's our surroundings. There's a bunch of swimmers right there. And there's, this looks like more of a local swim spot. There's only a couple over there. And the main anchorage that people go to is right there. But we're out in the open. It's a little tiny rolly.
And the wind is supposed to change, which may make it even more rolly, but we thought we'd test it out because we love just being out on our own and somewhere different to everyone. But we may end up around there, we never know. But for now it's good. Nice and peace and quiet and in the shade.
That was one gigantic shakedown sail, eh?
I know.
So what's our list of broken things that we got to fix?
There's a lot. There's a lot of things that we need to go over tomorrow. So I'm going to go to sleep today. And then we're going to go in, take a bus into Palma and buy some things that we need to fix all the things, and then come back and fix all the things and then get going again.
What's the next destination?
Italia.
Italia.
Sicily.
Some pizza, some pasta, some good wine. Probably gonna get that here too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we got some engine problems, we got some water ingress problems.
We got to fix the nav lights, which we didn't have the right stuff for. We got to look at the fuel filter. We've got to...
a new anti-siphon valve.
Yeah, new anti-siphon valve. Potentially new bilge pump. We've got to look at the problem with that. And there's a few little things that I want to change because it was our first ever sail on the boat. They're just little things that I want to like change the...
Hold on, jet skis at sunset. Look at that. That looks like a good time. Okay, continue.
That's living the life. Maybe we'll even squeeze in a bit of fun and a swim for sure.
Oh, tomorrow, first thing in the morning.
Yeah. But for now, I'm going to sleep. Bye guys, thanks for watching. It's been an epic week for us. Hope you've enjoyed the episode and the video. If you want any extra ones, we do an extra one on Patreon each week for different certain things that you can request, or otherwise just extra life stuff that we're up to during the week. And don't forget that we're totally real time. We literally did this week and edited it and uploaded it all for you guys. So give it a like if you enjoyed it, or a comment if you didn't. Or if
You can leave a nice comment too.
you can leave a nice one, that would be nice. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week. Bye guys.
See ya.